במדרש רבה Parshas Pekudei Reish Pasha Nun Beis al Pasuk Vayaviu is Hamishkan el Moshe. So in Medrash Raba, where it brings how they brought the Mishkan to Moshe, Rabbi Tanchu ma Rabbi Abba Pasach, Rekamos Tuval Melechu, Tilam Simin Memhei. Rabbi Abba opened and he said to woven things that are brought to the king and so forth. Rekamos, what are rekamos? Ze Hamishkan chulu. That refers to the Mishkan brought to the king, to Moshe. Vayaviu, like it says, Vayaviu is Hamishkan el Moshe. Ein bezor Pekudei daf resh lamed hey amud aleph, vedaf resh lamed ches amud aleph. Ubeparsha Vayakel daf kuf tzadik zayin amud beis al pasuk chu mitchem truma. Kmada samres besulos acharei reoseh chulu. And look what's brought on Parshas Vayakel, where it says, take for yourselves truma, like it says, the virgins after her are desired, muvaslach, that are brought to you. Visham kol nediv livo yavia. So the concept of bringing the Mishkan to Moshe is like Kalas Moshe, so perhaps that's why it's comparing it to bringing the Besulos Muvaslach. Visham kol nediv libo yavieha, and there it says further that all those whose hearts gift them will bring it l'salkal alagabi bailachulu, to bring her towards her husband and so forth. Yavieha is a feminine, will bring her. V'zeu atzmo inyan Vayaviu es Hamishkan, and this is also the concept that they brought the Mishkan, Shu Malchus el Moshe, Shu Zer Anpin, so they brought the Mishkan, which is Malchus, to Moshe, who is Zah, V'hainu alidei besulus acharei reoseh, and that is through the virgins after her, their desires. Shumaili Mesa Malchus, that they elevate Malchus, V'sham Pirush Mikdash Melech, Shem Yud Beis Bakar Debriya, Yud Beis Shvatim. And there the Mikdash Melech explains that what is this that they're bringing up? The Mishkan, or the Besulos. It's the concept of the 12 Bakar of under the Yam in the Mishkan, in the Mikdash of Olam Habriya, or the 12 tribes, the Merkavta Tata, to bring it up towards the Atzilos. V'chein perish b'daf reish lamed hey, that is bringing Ohr Pekudei daf reish lamed hey and daf reish lamed ches. And so one perish is that it's Malchus going up to Zah, and the other is that it's the Yud Beis Bakar, Yud Beis Shvatim. V'ayin bezor vayichi daf reish mem vav amud beis daf reish mem zayin amud aleph al pasuk benos tzada. Look what's brought in Zohar Vayichi about the daughters that stepped on the wall and so forth to see Yosef. Ubegin der chol tikunei shchinta inun nukfin istalek Yosef mitaman, and since all the tikunim of the Shechina are feminine, so Yosef was elevated from there. Vismani techosei Ephraim chulu. Or Yosef was removed from there, and under him, or instead of him, was placed Ephraim and so forth. V'hainu b'nos tzad v'lo banim chulu ein sham. That is that the daughters stepped on the wall and not the sons and so forth. I guess it's some kind of aliyah specifically to the Nukva, like Aliyah Samalchus or something. V'zeh shekasav hamedrash Raba besulos acharei elu Yisrael, and that's why it says in Medrash Raba that the virgins that are after her, that go after her, that refers to Yisrael. Shem Yud Beis Shvatim, Shem Yud Beis Bakar, Shem Anikraim Besulos Acharei Kanal, that there are the 12 tribes, they are the 12 cattle that are called the virgins after her, and so forth, like we said. And this, it says that they're her loved ones. Al Shem Lamanachai V'Rei. That's like we say, for the sake of my brothers and my loved ones. V'yesh lefarish, we can say lefi shoresh hayud beis shvatim debriya hen yud beis gvulei alachson dezeran pindat silos, that since the root of the 12 tribes of the world of Bria are the 12 diagonals of Zerampin of the world of Atzilus, that's why they're called the brothers and the loved ones of, or the friends of, the Holy One, blessed be He. So Acharei Reoseh means after her, her friends or with her. So why are we called friends and brothers? Because the Yud Beis Gvulei Alachson are of Zeranpin of Atzilus, higher than the world of Bria. So when we say Acharei Reoseh, that she's after the friends, meaning that you elevate her to from the Yud Beis of Bria to the Yud Beis of Atzilus. V'ayin od me'inyan besulos achareya b'zohar chilek beis mishpatim daf kuf hey suf amud beis u'beparshas tisa daf kuf peites suf amud beis gabi kos shel bracho shu v'nisam migvaos. And look what's brought in Parshas Kisisa, where it says concerning the cup of blessing, that it's like it says by in Yeshayahu about the mountain of the Beis Hamikdash, and it's going to be lifted up from the hills. My migvos, myhu, what does it mean from the hills? Ela bina, but it refers to bina, like the imos are called the gvos, so that's more like bina, whereas Avraham would be like a har. The avos are called harim. So the Beis Hamikdash is that it's lifted, which is in general a feminine concept, like Vayaviu Hamishkan el Moshe. So when it says v'nisa migvos, it's going to be higher than the hills, meaning to say it's going to be lifted from bina. Ubein besulos acharei Reoseh, and amongst the virgins after her friends, Shiur de zeres ihu. The difference ubein between the besulos and her after her friends, or between her and bina, it's not clear. It says that the measure anyways is a zeres. It's a zeres in between them. So that's the lashon of the Zohar. Perish b'mikdash melech tiferes netzach hod yisod malchus tezah hem heitzbos shebein hamalchus ubein yud beis bakar the bria. So the Mikdash Melech explains that tiferes netzach hod yisod malchus of Zerampin, that's 5 spheros corresponding with 5 fingers between malchus and the 12 cattle of the world of bria. So it's between the besulos. So it's not bina. Myhu, what's migvos? Ela beina beina. It's not bina. It's beina. So we'll read it again. It says nisa migvos myhu ela beina bein besulos acharei Reoseh. What are the hills? Rather, it's between her and between the besulos after her Reoseh. Shiur de zeres hu ihu. It's a measure of a zeres. Who perish b'mikdash melech tiferes netzach hod yisod malchus. So the Mikdash Melech explains that this refers to tiferes netzach hod yisod malchus de Zerampin hem heitzbos shebein hamalchus ubein yud beis bakar. That refers to the 5 fingers, the 5 spheros in between malchus and the 12 cattle of the world of bria. Ukein ze perish haramaz shebe'aliyos hamalchus kos shel bracha. That so similarly, the Ramaz explains that with the elevation of Malchus, which is the cup of blessing, Azuz v'nisam migvos shir zeres segvoraschu. Then you have the lifted from the hills which is a measure of the zeres, which that is the 5 gvuros. So he also explains the concept of 5 gvuros, which is in general like the 5 fingers. Even if he doesn't say like the Mikdash Melech exactly that it's the Yud Beis Bakar of Bria in between the Yud Beis Bakar of Bria and Malchus. We can also awaken to this concept of to the rikma that's brought Rukamti bitachtios aretz, I was woven in the depths of the earth. V'targim Yonasan itstayaris bikrese de ima, and the Yonasan translates that I was formed in the womb of my mother. B'mitzudus sin sham rukamti dima yitzir savlad bebasar v'gidim l'maisei rikma. So the Mitzudos Sion there explains that I was woven, that he compares the formation of the child with flesh and veins to the act of weaving shenas al panim rabim u'mahalchim mistovevim, that is done on many faces and with surrounding travels. So I guess the like the veins that traverse through the flesh is similar to the weaving strands that go all the way around and through many facets and all around. Ubahalaz, and in Yiddish, Rukamti ich bin geworden gewebt chulu. And so in Yiddish you would translate Rukamti as I was woven or webbed, like a web, and so forth. My Seirokem, or like the act of the things that were woven. Parshas Truma Kavav Lamed Vav Targam Ovad Seyar. It says that things that were formed, that were drawn, meaning that you make like a picture in the weaving or a thread work. If so, Rukamti is like Vayitzar, it's a language of Yitzira, of forming, like Hashem Elokim formed man. In Sur Kelokeinu, and the verse, there's no rock like our Elokeinu, in Sayar Kelokeinu. So the drasha is there's no one who can form and make pictures like our Elokeinu. To form a creation or to form the child in the womb. So if so, the perush of this pasuk to the weavers that are brought, that the whole point of the elevation of the souls of Israel to the Holy One, blessed be He, who is called the King, is that from this union you'll have the giving birth to the souls, which is the concept of forming of the child in the womb and so forth, concept of Yitzira. So Rakamos Tuval is like that we said is like bringing the Mishkan to Moshe, which is like Malchus and Zer Ampin uniting Elias Kalas Moshe and so forth. So the whole point of it is Rakamos Tuval, that she's brought for the Rakamos for that formation that comes from it, for having a child, for the Yitzira that's nolad from it. Ach eker perish l'rakamos tuval, but the main perish of l'rakamos of the woven is brought shetis ale bebigdei tziyurin, is that she should be elevated in beautiful clothing. So if it's a concept of Yitzira, and rakamos means weaving, so so it means you'll bring her Rakamos Tuval, you'll bring her up the kala, the queen, together with her friends and so forth. You'll bring her in rekamos, meaning in beautiful clothing with pictures on it. Dugmas tilbash Esther Malchus, similar to the concept of how Esther wore garments of kingship. She wore kingship. So that's Lirakamos Tuval Melech. Targum Perush al Bigdei Kahuna, and the Targum translates the Lirakamos Tuval that that it's a concept of wearing the garments of the Kohen. What does it mean, Lirakamos Tuval Melech? That you're wearing the garments of the Kohen. That's like the Kala who's in the Mishkan, who wears the clothing, compared to a bride who wears her clothing to go to the chassan. And this is in their garments that they're beautiful. They're pictured garments. They're beautiful, I guess, woven garments, or I don't know if there's any pictures on the garments, but she translates it in Blevushin Siyurin, in beautiful formed garments. They will bring their korbanos in front of the king of the world. Vayaviu Pekudei Torah b'shir hashirim b'dibur hamaschil yonasi b'chagvei b'perush yafasi she'oseh levushim yafim v'naim la'kadosh baruch hu. So look what's brought in Pekudei Torah shir hashirim, where it says, Kumilach rayasi yafasi. So what does it mean? What does it mean? Come up, my beautiful one. That we make beautiful clothing and pleasant clothing to the Holy One, blessed be He. That we make garments like the mitzvos, and so that's why we're called yafasi. And so too we make garments for the soul, and that is through doing the mitzvahs. So we're called beautiful because of that. And it's explained in another place that through these garments specifically is how the neshama goes upwards. So again, that's Lirakamos Tuval Lamelech, that through the Rikamos, through the clothing of the Maisya mitzvahs, which are the Levushim, that's the elevation of the neshama upwards to the king. I'm b'dibur hamaschil magbila shaves, u'b'dibur hamaschil yafesha achas b'tshuva ma'asim tovim. B'Torah Ohr Parshas Chayu b'Igeras HaKodesh Simen Chavtes dibur hamaschil eshes chay l'teres baila v'kamokin yuvin b'inyan hamalchus l'mayla mayla. So you can understand with the concept of malchus all the way up. Ze'al yidei levushim anal, it's through the concept of garments, to the elevation of malchus to zaz, also through a concept of garments. And that's the concept of the woven garments brought to the king.